Assalamu alaikum. My name is Malaika Rahman. I am from semester 1, batch 8, MS Chemistry. Today my topic of presentation is LCA, which is basically life cycle assessment. Introduction. Life cycle assessment is a scientific method used to evaluate the environmental impacts of a product, process or services throughout its entire life cycle. This includes every stage from raw material extraction through manufacturing and use to dispose of or recycling. मीन्स ये LCA जो है वो एक कंप्लीट लाइफ साइकिल है. हमने उसको कैसे मैन्युफैक्चर करना है, मतलब फ्रॉम रॉ मटेरियल एक कहाँ से वो उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टार्ट हुई है, उसका यूजेज, उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड देन उसकी जो रिसाइकलिंग या फिर उसकी जो डिस्पोज ऑफ है वो बताना है सारा. नेक्स्ट इट्स हिस्ट्री. अर्ली बिगनिंग इसकी जो हुई थी LCA की वो 1960s में और अर्ली 1970s तक एरा था. इसका जो बेसिक ओरिजिन है, दिस आइडिया इज़ असेसिंग द एंटायर लाइफ ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट स्टार्टिंग इन द 1960s मेनली इन द US एंड यूरोप. इनिशियल फोकस एनर्जी एनालिसिस एंड मटेरियल फ्लो स्टडीज़. नोटेबल स्टडी. Coca-Cola 1969 conducted one of the first comprehensive studies to compare the environmental impacts of glass and plastic bottles. This involves measuring every use and waste generation through the product's life. Next इसके अंदर जो थोड़ी सी मॉडिफिकेशन है देन फॉर्मल डेवलपमेंट हुई है इसके अंदर, वो 1970s to 1980s थी, in which study expanded to include not just energy but raw materials and emissions. Emergence of term resources and environmental profile analysis, which is abbreviated as REPA in the USA. Organization involved Franklin's Association and Swedish Environmental Research Institute. नेक्स्ट डेवलपमेंट जो इसमें हुई है वो है स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एंड ग्लोबलाइजेशन रिकग्निशन, इन विच ये 1990s में हुई है. रैपिड इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रोथ एंड इन्वायरमेंटल कंसर्न्स led to the formalization. Society of Environmental Technology and Chemistry helps unify terminologies and methodologies. ISO 14040 series was introduced हुई थी इसमें. Then 1997 में थी defined general LCPA principles, and then ISO 14041 to 14044 जो है उसने स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन LCP के फेजेस में, जिसमें गोल, स्कोप, इन्वेंटरी, इम्पैक्ट और इंटरप्रिटेशन थे, वो इन्वेंट किए थे. नेक्स्ट इंटीग्रेशन इनटू सस्टेनेबिलिटी एंड पॉलिसी. ये 2000s टू प्रेजेंट, मतलब 2000 से लेके अभी तक जो 2025 है ये 2000 से है, ये अब तक वही चल रहा है. LCPA become widely used in product design, environmental labeling, corporate sustainability, product reporting, government policies and regulation, tools and software like SEMA Pro, Gabi, OpenLCA and EcoInvent. Database became common. Modern use and expansion. It's from 2010 to today, मतलब 2025 today तक. Integration with circular economy, carbon and water footprinting, greenhouse gas protocols, application in textile construction, electronics, energy and agriculture, adoption and UN sustainability goals, UE policies and carbon neutral planning. Next, its goals. The goal of LCA is used to understand the total environmental footprint and identify opportunities for improvement, sustainability and efficiency. LCA follows a cradle to grave approach, meaning it assesses the complete journey of a product from manufacturing to dispose of or maybe recycling, which is then again moved to recycling. Cradle, the beginning, extraction, natural processes, and grave, the end process, which is waste, recycling or decomposition. Next, SWOT analysis in LCA. Strength, full environmental impact view, ISO standardized, aids sustainable designs, and it identifies hotspots. Next, weaknesses, data, heavy and complex, time consumption, need expert knowledge, and variable results. Next, opportunities, demand for green products, policy support, which is examples of SDGs, tech integration AI है, IoT है, IIoT है, GIoT है, and then circular economic growth. Its threats, risk of greenwashing, data inconsistency, industry pushback, and legal reputation or risk. Next, it's लाइफ साइकिल स्टेजेस. लाइफ साइकिल स्टेजेस जो हैं बेसिकली इट्स फर्स्ट रॉ मटेरियल एक्सट्रैक्शन विच इज़ माइनिंग, लॉगिंग एंड हार्वेस्टिंग ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. नेक्स्ट, मटेरियल प्रोसेसिंग, refining and preparing materials, manufacturing, making the final product, then transportation, moving product at different stages, use phase, the consumer uses the product, and end of the life, dispose, recycling, or incineration of the product. Next, why LCA is important? LCA is important because it helps in identify environmental impacts like CO, carbon dioxide emission, water use, and its pollution. Encourages eco-friendly design and processes, support sustainable design making in industry and development. Next, stages or steps of LCA. There are basically 7 steps of LCA, which is first goal, next scope, third one is inventory analysis, fourth one is impact assessment, fifth one interpretation, sixth one reporting, and second last one which is seventh, critical review. Next, the detail of all these steps are goal, which is basically define the purpose of LCA, determine the intended audience and application, which example है जिसकी product comparison और policy decision. Next example, comparing environmental impact of plastic versus paper bags. Next step is scope, which is establish the system boundaries, functional unit, and assumptions. Second one is clarify what parts of the life cycle are included. Example, cradle to grave or cradle to gate. Example है इसकी will transportation and end of the life will be considered. Next one है life in cycle inventory, LCI, which is collect data on inputs and output of every stage, which is energy use, water, raw material, and emissions. Its example is how much carbon dioxide is emitted during the manufacturing. The fourth one is life cycle impact assessment, which is LCIA, in which translate inventory data into environmental impacts such as climate change, global warming, which is global warming, climate change होगा तो global warming होगी. Second one is acidification, water depletion, eutrophication. Its example is 5 kg of carbon dioxide unit contribute to global warming potential. Next one is interpretations, in which we analyze the results to find hotspots, which is stages with the highest impact, identify improvement opportunities, and test different scenarios. Its example is switching from fossil fuels based to renewable energy in production. Next one is reporting, present finding clearly to stakeholders or regulatory bodies, must follow the ISO standards, include assumptions, and disclose limitations. Last one is a critical review, which is optional but it's an important step. Independent third party evaluation of the study ensures transparency, accuracy, and credibility, especially for public disclosures. Next is common uses of LCA. Common uses of LCA are comparing two products, which may be paper, plastic bag, cloths, or anything else. Designing more sustainable packaging, evaluating renewable versus non-renewable energy systems, making policies for green technology and climate actions. Next is it's one example, which is manufacturing of a t-shirt. First, it's a different steps in the manufacturing of t-shirts, which is raw material extraction, spinning, winding, um, packing, making, sewing. First, we discuss each one by one. First, else raw material extraction, common farming, cotton farming activities and growing cotton using irrigation and fertilizers, use of tractors and pesticides. Its environmental impacts are high water consumption, approximately 2700 liters per t-shirt. For one t-shirt, 2700 liter water consumed. Solid degradation, chemical runoff leading to water pollution, and fossil fuel use for farming machinery. Next one is material processing. Second one is material processing and with spinning and weaving activities. मतलब जो इसके अंदर जो काम हो रहा है वो है cotton is cleaned, carded and spun into a yarn. Then yarn is woven or knitted into the fabric, and its environmental impacts are energy consumption from machinery, particulate emissions, lubricants and cleaning agents may pollute water. Its next step is dyeing and finishing, in which fabric is dyed, bleached, printed and chemically finished. Its environmental impacts are large water and chemical use, toxic dyes and salt result in water bodies. Last but not the least, high energy consumption, which is from steam or dyeing process. Next step is manufacturing, in which cutting and sewing of shirt, in which fabric is cut, stitched into the shape, labeled and ironed. Its environmental impact are energy used for machinery and pressing, waste fabric if not recycled or reused, and labor condition, social sustainability factor. And its next step is packing and transportation. T-shirts are folded, packed, often in plastic and often in the paper bags and different kinds of packing material. Its environmental impacts are plastic packing waste, carbon emission from air, sea and road transport. Its next step is use phase, means consumer phase. In this process, washing, dyeing, ironing over t-shirt like 30 to 50 washes. Its environmental impacts are electricity and water usage, detergents and microplastic pollution, ironing, energy demand. Its next step is end of the life, discarded to landfills, incinerated or recycled. Textile waste, often non-biodegradable if mixed with synthetic fibers, landfill membrane emissions, and low recycling rates for textile globally. It's a diagram in which first of all manufacturing is first of all raw material and manufacturing, then transportation, then use, then end of the life, and then the cycle goes on. Next is conclusion. The life cycle assessment of a cotton t-shirt reveals significant environmental impact across nearly every phase of its life, especially in cotton farming, dyeing, transportation, and the consumer use phase. These impacts are magnified by the scale of global textile consumption and the rise of fast fashion. By use LCA, manufacturers, brands, and consumers can make informed decision that reduces resource consumption, minimize the pollution, and extend the usage of life of garments with better practices such as using organic cotton, switching to sustainable dyes, promoting eco-conscious consumer behavior, and enhancing textile recycling system. We can shift towards a more sustainable textile industry. References, and then thank you for listening.